We currently have a few absences tonight due to the times changing mid-season while the UTC goes into time. But currently we're in for a really, really good race at the moment, because for those who saw the Red Bull Ring race, you're going to understand what I'm talking about. The standings are going off at the moment. With Richie and Immortalis and Tosti's battle, they're all very close in the standings, and it's now a fight for third in the standings. As we've got Curb first, and with Spot away last week, he's able to still stay in second, which is pretty good, but obviously he's hoping to gain some time against Curb off. Obviously it's going to be very tricky. Knowing the pace on both drivers, all Spud can do is essentially just stay as close as he can. But looking at Ty Joe, I'm not sure what his times will be in quali. I know he said 130s, I'm not sure if that's a race pace or not, but I do know McToasty's capable of those 28s, because that's what I saw in that practice session. Dirt, I know he can get the 27s, I saw that in practice session. That's almost Ty Joe gone. In the banking of 130R, that was really close for Ty Joe. He's going on for, he's no longer on a hot lap, but for the hot lap you can see that is McToasty on a hot lap, as you can see with his bright lights being flashed. That means he's on a hot lap, and when the drivers do not have the lights on, that means they're not on a hot lap. And that's another spin. As you can see, this is going to be a tough track for all the drivers. As you see, the teammate car of Toasty go through as Dirt Rally, who I was talking about, is capable of much more time than what he's got. He's got so much more potential. I've seen him in the practice sessions, and it's only an hour more in game time of what the practice sessions would be. Actually, no, I believe it would be the same as it would have been 12 o'clock. Yeah, it would have been 12 o'clock. I see blank file in the background. We'll see. Is it blank file? Oh, that could be Richie. I believe that's actually Richie in the background, or Curb off. We'll see how after they go. That's so Curb off. That must have been Curb off's out lap. As you can see, that's a really low time. You can see that's Spud Man now in the top. So Toasty second, and for one of the drivers I was going to say look out for tonight is, yeah, Toasty was one of the drivers I was going to say to look out for tonight. Every race he is so consistent and so conservative with saving the fuel and tyres. He's able to just sit in the pack and just slowly build his way out the field, no matter if he's still in a mid-high position, a mid-position, a fairly high position. He's able to keep his car in a great position for the race, whether it's too high, except for Red Bull Ring, where you'd see him obviously saving tyres really well and moving in and out of the battle of the pack with the great duel of Richie and Immortalis. But then oft every now and then he would go away from the pack and brought back in, go away from the pack and brought back in. You can see this when the tyres were being saved on Toasty, and it would end up going quite well for him, as, yeah, in the end, he'd be getting that podium spot. He'd get second place, and I believe that would end up being his best place position all season in terms of Silverstone. I know he finished quite high, and he did alright at Hockenheim too as well. While Immortalis, who was in that battle, came third, and unlucky for Richie, who on the last lap ended up running out of fuel. He would be battling Immortalis for the whole of 45 minutes, and yeah, it was devastating as he'd run out of fuel. And before, yeah, Super went in the pits, and we'd know Super ended up going into fuel, but yeah, the Oricas ended up saving their fuel really well and being like on par with the Ligier, on some of the Ligier Nissans. As you see, yeah, Richie going out in the last lap. Still waiting for Curb off on that 34. 8th place at the moment. Biragori Targtu is a reserve at the moment in 9th place, but Taito's now taken first. He said 130s. He was not confident, but you see that man right now, and he's setting mega good times at the moment. Biragori Tartu is now gone as a reserve. He must have retired from the session. I'm not sure what's happened there. We'll have to wait and see if he's retired or why he's disappeared from the leaderboard, to be exact. But with the absences tonight, like I've said, and you can see it was the rear end popping out at that corner there, that Panasonic corner. I think we're going to see that a lot more when the tyres degrade. Yeah, we've got 6 minutes left in the qualifying session. When you see this in the race, that corner is somewhere I'm really going to be looking for, as well as the Nets corner and possibly 100R. But I guess we'll have to wait and see. And I'm not sure if that's Toasty or Dirt. No, that's Dirt. So we've got both of the white and blue Nissans behind each other. And then also behind Toasty, you can tell Dirt's warming up his tyres. But I want to... Oh no! That's Tyjo spinning out 100R. Just as I was talking about, that would be a corner to look out for in terms of how it would affect tyre wear and spins. You see both of the white and blue Legion Nissans heading up for their hot laps. I'm not sure which one of them was actually warming their tyres before, but that's really unlucky for Tyjo. But at the moment, based on what you're seeing, 5 minutes left. If Kurbov, no, we're going to look at Kurbov. Kurbov needs to defend his position in the standings, as we know how quick Spud is, and we know how quick Kurbov is. Well, looking at Kurbov right now, he's in 8th place. And yeah, with Spud in second due to missing last week's race, getting no points at all, and then Kurbov taking the win. Yeah, 26 points behind Spud is. So with 5 minutes left, I want to keep an eye. Oh, that is... Yeah, he looks really iffy out of that corner. So I reckon some setup changes will be needing to be made. But I really want to go take a look on Kurbov's car and just see what he can do, because I know I'm really rooting to see if Kurbov can actually get a little higher as McToasty takes pole. Just with what we were seeing earlier, that's going to be Dirt Rally now going on to his hot lap as well, so well done to McToasty. But that is what Kurbov wants right now in the spot for the top position in the standings. That's Biogoritadu now back in the standings as his car's back, and the team must be thinking they're ready to roll out the car again after being unsure of what they're going to do with the car. 4 minutes now left in qualifying. Now with that stuff up in the first sector, I'm not sure how he's going to go in terms of moving up in positions. Currently with that 1 minute 31. That's actually a pretty good line in this corner. That's what you want to take, and going into the Panasonic corner, you normally want to go quite wide, as you see Kurbov doing, but going a little too wide. He's clipping that curb on the outside of the corner. But with the straight line, if you can get this, even with the draft, will help a lot here. But obviously if you stay too close to the car in the first few corners, such as 100R and the gold corner next to it, you're getting a lot of dirty air. So yeah, that's going to be Kurbov staying in 8th place. I really want to see if he can move up. With Spud 3rd, that's going to be, I think that's Richie pulling him behind. 3 minutes left. He's going to be making setup changes. So we'll see what Spud can do. This is a battle for first, guys. You see how far... I did not expect to see this at the moment, but you see how Kurbov's in 8th, and you see Spud now in 4th. Dirt Rally now takes Spud's position in 3rd place, and now that hot lap I was just talking about with Dirt Rally, he has now taken that to bring a 3rd place spot. And what I was talking about earlier is I was saying Dirt can get the 27s. There you are, guys. That is Dirt Rally's 1 minute 27s, and now it's Spud to Mad's turn to take that position back. He's now only 5 positions above Kurbov. He needs to get higher. He needs to get close in the standings. With Dirt, Tyjo and McToasty taking those spots, Spud has to go as quick as he can. Kurbov is in the pits. I don't see him coming out anytime soon unless he makes those setup changes really quickly. Heading through 100R into the hairpin. Got to see how he takes his line. It looked quite smooth there. Not too close. And no! No. That's a wheel spin, and that's really unlucky, both. You can see how the drivers are really struggling in the race and in the qualifying session, so who knows how they're going to go in the race. So I guess we're going to wait and see while most drivers have 2 minutes left in the pits. Maybe, yeah, the drivers are done early, just setting up their setups for the race, and pit strategies even as well. You see Tyjo getting those curbs a little too much there. So this could be really good for McToasty while Immortalis is not able to make the race, and then Dirt Rally who is lower in the standings compared to the guys around him, such as Richie Immortalis. I think this is what Victosi wants. Richie's in 5th, and Immortalis is not here at the moment. I think this is going to be perfect for Victosi. And then Taijo, who's currently in the standings battle with Super Crusher. Even better for Taijo. Taijo currently is 2nd and Super Crusher in 6th. Taijo's definitely going to be making up some time here, getting close. Probably even overtaking Blankfile as well, who's unable to make it. You see him clipping those curves into 100 around the outside. That's a really good racing line. That's going to be what you want. You head that outside into the in that turn 5, turn 6 sort of section. See how he goes into the hairpin. Hopefully he doesn't end up like Spud earlier. So now Kerboff's out of the pits. We're going to take a look at Kerboff as well. I don't think he's going to be on his... So that's Kerboff on an outlap. That's going to be one of the extra Oricas as well. Spud staying in the pits. That's Spud and Richie definitely staying in the pits. That's Taijo in the 3rd sector. Seeing how he goes into turn 13. Going for a good line. Takes it into nets. I reckon he's going okay, but there was a little stuff up in the 1st sector. He clips that curb quite a lot in the past few laps. I'm not sure if that's actually a decent line or not, but it doesn't seem to be slowing us down too much, but that definitely will. So we'll take a look at Kerboff, and here we go. He is on a hot lap. Hopefully his tyres are warmed up enough, and hopefully he's able to keep going. With Spud in 4th, he has the chance to defend his 1st place position on the standings, and he will do so at the moment. We know he can do this, but we know that both of them have such great pace. But looking on Taijo's point of view, that's going to be Taijo finishing his... No, that's Taijo still going. Taijo's still got a hot lap in, just crossing the finish line in time, while Kerboff is about to hand off into the final sector, going past 300R into the 3rd sector, full of all the tight twisty corners, heading through Tunlop, where he heads straight to 13 with, I believe that's going to be Super... No, that's Revs Martin in the background, while Super practices his pit entry, which is going to be good here, because you've got a chicane heading into the pits after a really quick straight build-up. But yeah, looking at Taijo, he's actually got a good green delta. He's going to get close to Victosi, but I don't think he's going to get close enough. But he is going to get closer. So the reason why I'm talking about Taijo getting closer, he's only closer by about 1/10, 2/10 of a second. And if Kerb gets that 2nd place, Taijo is going to need to make up as ground as possible. But we'll see where Kerb gets as he gets to the finish line. What can he do? And Kerb keeps the 8th place spot. So Kerboff will have some ground to make up here. And that's Revs parking it on the front straight. But there we go, guys. That is the drivers for tonight. We have one reserve driver joining us, Birigori Tatu, in 9th place. So Taijo takes pole. I didn't think he was going to do that. I should have been watching him in that 3rd sector, but Taijo took pole. Wow. I'm gobsmacked. When I looked at Taijo's footage, I had seen that he is only 2/10 behind Toasty, and he needed about 4.5 tenths to make. So I don't know what he did in that final sector, but whatever he did it right. Because, wow, I really thought Taijo would have to make a lot of ground up in that final sector, but no, Taijo, 1st place in qualifying, getting that extra bonus points. That's Victosi in 2nd, Dirt Rally in 3rd, the 2 blue and white Nissans taking up the rest of the podium, where the convertible collective will take out 4th to 7th with Richie in the middle. Richie will really be wanting to get close to Victosi at the moment, while Immortalis is not here. Then the 2 extra convertibles, as I've said, and then Kerboff to make up some ground. We'll see how the drivers go while they try to make up their setups. So currently the drivers will have around 2 minutes to get their pit strategies and their race setups as perfect as can be. as they do want to make sure they can get their tyre wear all top spot as well. Taijo's got some ground to make, and I don't think Taijo's the most confident with his tyre wear, as I was speaking to him before the race, and he's really unsure on that tyre wear, especially on the Panasonic corner, as I know a lot of cars you'd see oversteering and spinning on the exit of that corner, so I guess we're going to see how the tyre wear goes there, and we saw a lot of guys spinning in that Sector 3 and 100R as well, so that's going to be tough to go, but we'll go to Fluxmotorsport this week. So Toasty took the Group 3's win at Fuji, and then Blankfire, who is unable to attend tonight, takes the Super Formulas at Fuji. So if Toasty can win Group 3s at Fuji, I'm sure he can do it in the LMP2s while starting up front row. And then Dirt Rally is currently leading the New Zealand Rally, which is his home rally, in the R5s. And then I am currently leading the NR4s Group Ns in the Fluxmotorsport Pro Championship. In the past, this category at this track has hosted the 2020 Fluxmotorsport Autumn Special Event. And some noticeable mentions is Dirt winning the V8s in the final season of 2021. He dominated that V8 Supercar season. He did really good until Spud came in on the very last race, who we've seen pace that we've never seen before. But with Spud in the slower car at the moment with the convertibles, he does seem to struggle a bit. But I think once we see Spud in in a Nissan or a Ligier chassis next season, we're really going to see him pop off. But we got 3 seconds for the drivers to get ready, and 2 seconds. They were readied up just in time. So we'll see how we go. We've got the perfect camera view at the moment. You can see all the drivers ready to go. You see the extra guys get their lights on. They want to be threatening. And Spud with a great start goes down the inside of McToasty. We're going to look at Spud as he's already moved on to second place. We'll see how Taijo goes. Taijo's on the outside. Spud's got the perfect move. Spud could take first into the first flap. See how Toasty goes right behind him. That's going to be too wide. And Spud takes 4 positions within the first corner and the first straight. Brilliant start from Spud. You can see the extra cars are swerving in the background. Everyone is within a second of each other. Great racing from everyone. Birugori Taldi just overtakes Kerboff, and the Super now into 7th place when getting overtaken from Revs. Birugori's now back in 9th, and Super in 9th as well. Not sure if anything's happened. No, that's going to be overtake. Big Toasty came to 3rd place spot, and there's Dirt Rally right behind him as well. Spud goes straight into first and overtakes 3 cars within the start. Kerboff takes up 5 positions. That's exactly what he wants, but he wants to get closer to Spud. As what we saw earlier, Kerboff in 8th, and now there's 3 positions made up. Kerboff can be ready to hunt out Dirt Rally and the rest of the Ligier Nissans before Spud, the man he wants to get. Birugori Tari now takes in 6th. What a brilliant drive so far for the reserve driver, as one of the extra Nissans of Rev Smart will try and go down the inside. Already a second ahead, Spud Mad is, but Taijo has McToasty on his tail. Then Dirt will be right behind him. Kerboff hunting down Dirt to try and get as close as he can to Spud. He knows that Spud is second behind him in the standings. He knows the pace of Spud Mad, so both drivers will need to be as quick as they can this race. But at the moment, Kerboff just needs to finish. But the reason why Kerboff not do more than obviously just finish, because we never know what can happen in the next few races at Road America and the Portimao Algarve circuit. And that is a car in the background. Is that Richie going into the pits with some damage? You can see some suspension damage. Something's happened to Richie. No, that's really unlucky for Richie. I'm really unsure of what's happened there. We'll see the drivers go through 100R, but really unsure if that's hit with himself or with another driver at the end of the first lap, or what's actually happened. If it is with another driver, we hope it can get taken to the stewards, as then that can be the only way that drivers can get the fair penalty and sorting out, so we can keep Fluxmotorsport as clean as we possibly can, while we get McToasty going a little close and Taijo in the background, as Spud is now 2 seconds ahead of the other guys, and he can continue to go away while Taijo is battling McToasty, and Dirt will continue to join in the background. Then we'll be seeing Kerboff get a little closer as time goes on, while these guys will be battling for second and the podium. That will mean that Spud can get away, and Dirt and Kerboff can get a little closer. But I know Dirt is really good at defending, and he can defend quite well. You can see, wow, the draft on McToasty. Look how much closer he is getting to Taijo. I'm going to try and find McToasty's telemetry as well, while I've got Taijo's on my screen. That way I can see how both cars are really looking, as it can tell me all the damage data, the engine, how they're going, and the tyres as well, obviously, as the race will go on. But if you look in the background, that's going to be, yeah, Kerboff's getting a lot closer, and then you can see Richie in 8th place, unluckily behind them. So we'll see how much closer Taito can get away, can keep that gap. Is getting away at the moment, but all he needs to do is defend as much as he can. Because I think a good strategy is what Supercrush was saying before the race as well. Don't worry about tyre saving, you go until those tyres go, and that isn't a bad idea. So with a retirement already done with Biragori Tadu, I'm sure what's happening, but he had a decent first lap and he obviously wasn't in last, so whatever's happened to the car, yeah, he's obviously not been able to go through the whole race, but we've got all the drivers in the front straight all bunched up together, while in the fourth lap actually, while Mitosi tries to get closer. We'll see how close Dirt Rally is, holding him. You can see Kerboff get a little closer. It's 200, 100. The big corner with some banking. Not too much though. Need a little camber on this corner. As you see at the end of the corner, just there is what I'm talking about. As yeah, we're going to see Kerboff hunting down dirt so we can get a little closer. It's quite bad. But we have seen this before. We've seen this at Hockenheim. We've seen this at Silverstone. And I think we can see it happen again. As you can see Kerboff in the background, almost getting bumper to bumper with Dirt Rally, getting really close to make that overtake. Now we'll see how he goes in the draft of the straight. Dirt's actually trying, he's doing the good thing by taking away the draft, and Kerboff's only going to continue to take it back. He's trying to and defend that first corner. That's always, I'm not sure how Dirt's taking that, but Kerboff's going to end up taking him on the inside. I think Dirt's going to know that the best thing to do in this situation is to let Kerboff go, but no, Dirt's able to hold that inside line really well, and that's what I'm talking about earlier. Dirt can defend well, and this is a great showcase of it. And I don't think Richie should be too worried here, is with that Nissan Leisure, he can save the fuel and keep going. Yeah, those tyres might be a little sadder at the end, but I think he can do this without pitting. He's done it before at the championship. So I think we can keep an eye on Richie. Yeah, he lost a lot of time in the first lap, but I think Richie shouldn't give up, and obviously you're going to make points if you finish the race, and if you don't finish you're not going to get any points at all. And that's Dirt spinning and Kerboff getting contact. That's the one thing Kerboff doesn't need right now. And he's going to be bunched up with all the extra drivers. Not sure how much damage is going to be made. Not that Dirt will give the position back, obviously. But you can see by how much slower Kerboff is, he is the one that truly got hurt in that position. Especially with the damage, but well, that gets super little closer to Taijo. As McToasty's now taking him, we missed out on that overtake, but yeah, we've seen McToasty take Taijo. And Taijo taking him down the straight in the draft, and both extra guys are still right next to each other in positions. So, yeah, Kerboff's ended up going into the pits. He's got, it mustn't have been bad enough for Dirt, who got hit on the side. Not sure what kind of error he would have just, like, what damage he would have received if it's rear aero damage or his suspension, but it's enough for Dirt to continue going. And now we're going to see a battle between Kerbal and Richie, and we've seen a few of these before at Hockenheim especially, and Silverstone. So I think we could see more of that at the moment, but yeah, what I'm looking at the moment is the battle of the two X drivers. Coming up to, I believe that's going to be Richie as a back marker, so when is Richie going to let them go, and how much is it going to slow down Super, who's, yeah, behind Revs Martin? I believe the safe space would be to do it at the start of the straight, which is, I think, what Richie will have planned. Depending on how close they actually go, because the blue flags might even be waved here, looking at how close they are, but I reckon it would be soon, as Revs gets a little slow into that corner. But it depends how bad, how much these two actually battle. How much are these two actually battling? Because I know from experience of watching these guys in the past that there's always team strategy and team management going on here. So they may be battling for position, but they may be sorting out the team strategy of how the rest of the race will play out for both drivers, whether they're obviously both going to be trying to save fuel, but it all depends who actually has the most out of fuel between the two drivers at the moment and who actually has the better tyres at the moment between all the drivers on the track. So really unsure of what happens to Biori Taru and why he actually had to retire, but yeah, it's well sad to see him go. But what I'll plan to do is get on Super's point of view, get on his roof cam, and that we will see how close he can get. You can see just a 10th off. Still a second, and even Dirt's caught up now. I'm going to head back to that trackside view while we can see Dirt Rally catch up to the rest of them. So that damage must not be too bad. I think we'll see Dirt fall off on the straight, because if he does have damage, that's where it'll really affect the car. But right now we can see, yeah, Dirt falling off. So he will have to make it up in the corners while he's losing time on the straight. But yeah, these two Exit cars are putting on a show for us at the moment while we're almost 15 minutes into the race. Yeah, Dirt's actually, yeah, just like what I said, Dirt's made it up in the corners. And I think oh, that's a bit of a lock-up from Revs Martin. Hope his tyres were okay from that, but also when I said a Red Bull Ring, I often said I hope Immortalis' tyres were okay after looking up, and well, we all know how that ended up, a third place finish for him after battling with Richie the whole time. So it all depends on how well these guys are actually managing the tyres, and that's going to be Kerbal or Richie in front of them. That's going to be Richie in front of him. Again, as a back marker. No, that's an extra car spinning. That's going to be Super Crusher gone. That's really unlucky out of turn 13, and Dirt's actually going to be making up position after losing damage. And that's what I was talking about during qualifying. Sector 3, we're going to be seeing spins, and that's what we've just seen. And Revs Martin, one of the guys I didn't mention in qualifying too much, is a guy who knows how to save fuel and knows how to save tyres, and he's in 4th. I think we can see a great positioning finish for Revs Martin today. Look at him going in 4th place almost 15 minutes done in the race. And that's going to be Dirt Rally finally pinning after he may have gained some more damage in that point. Yeah, that's just going to be damage and a bit of fuel. Looking at what his pit's doing. So now we're actually going to be able to see Revs Martin keep that 4th place. And I think it's brilliant for us. The other guys, obviously they didn't know what was going to happen to them. They didn't expect any of that, whether their spins, their crashes, or contact made within the drivers, but But even he's getting close to the back marker again. That's going to be still Richie, is it? Yeah. So you can tell. Yeah, you can tell Revs isn't that impatient to get past the back marker. He's happy to sit behind him. The back marker isn't slowing him down, and he's happy to sit behind him. And you can gain time in the straight. He knows that Super's still another 6 seconds behind, and I don't think I don't think he believes he's going to be getting that much closer to the guys at the podium. And I think he's happy with that 4th place spot. And if he can save his tyres and his fuel well enough, we're going to see a really good race from Revs. And I think one of the best races of Revs Martin we're going to see all season will be here today at Fuji Speedway in our LMP2 series. As we've also seen, Revs could do quite decent in the rally championships as well. He is obviously getting closer to the back marker, but knowing that Richie also pitted earlier, and I don't think Richie's slowing down, but I don't think he has to, and I think maybe Revs is feeling okay about that. I mean, looking at both drivers, I don't really think Richie's received. I mean, it's really hard to tell. Okay, there you go. That's a flash of lights from Revs. I think he wants to get past. So yeah, we'll have to see when Richie actually gets that done and lets him go by, obviously. But Revs is someone I'm really going to be looking out forward to watch this race. He's 6 seconds above 7. Now 7 is super okay. Yeah, he is. He's just obviously his tyres aren't okay, and his car might not be as okay based off how the last time went. But yeah, that's now around 8 seconds. Revs is in front of his teammate. That's flashing lights from Revs. I think, yeah, he does want to get past that back marker of Richie. And I think Richie doesn't want to lose any more time, as yeah, he's already behind Kerboff, but Kerboff is the closest guy to him in the race. But with Dirt pitting, Kerboff is actually going to get closer to Dirt again while the two battle this race. So yeah, you can tell Revs is not happy, but how close are they exactly? But I reckon there'd only be a second between them. No, even less than that now, so. But I think the thing is, they're both around the same pace at the moment. I'm going to have a look at what the timing board says of who's got the fastest lap right now, and it's going to be Toasty, and yeah, Richie's actually gotten a bit smaller in that. You can still see the distance between the two cars. It's honestly, yeah, it's just a hard pick. I think, yeah, Super's almost going to be making up time on Revs, and yeah, I think the blue flags should be showing, and I believe Revs is close enough, but I think Richie could also be gaining time now and escaping Revs, and yet again, depending on how close Revs is in the corners, he can be getting the dirty air, which will let the teammate Supercrusher gain away those 7 seconds he currently has on the other car. But what I'm seeing at the moment is Tyler's actually gaining time on Toasty. So I think what we can see at the moment is Toasty maybe or possibly saving fuel and tyres at the moment while he's got some time on the drivers behind him, while they could be unsure of what's going to be happening with Spud. I think Spud's just going to be going as hard as he can to get away from Kerboff and get as close to Kerboff at the moment of what we're seeing in the standings. As I'll go have a look of what the drivers will get in terms of points per finish. But if we have a look at what goes on the drivers at the moment, Spud will get 35 points. I don't see him getting the fastest lap at the moment. He'll just stay consistent while he's not got the pace as the other guys, as we saw he didn't get that in quali. As he's one of four drivers to have the 128. So it's going to be oh wow, that's a 15-second penalty from Dirt Rally. A 15-second penalty from Dirt Rally. Wow. And a 1 second for curb off. Okay. Well, still, Dirt Rally has McTosie has the fastest lap. It's potentially able to get done by Spud, but at the moment he's got 35 points this race, and curb off in 7th. We're gonna see 20 points. So yeah, we'll see that 26-point lead go down to potentially around 15 points. So yeah, he's going to be making up around 10 points at the moment this race if Kerboff stays where he is in the standings of this race, and well, Spud can keep first place and not make any mistakes. We know Kerboff is trying to get closer to Dirt Rally, and I know he can do that. It's possible, but they're both on some really quick pace. Kerboff's finally found his pace and able to get those 128s. That's the perfect race pace you want, and I don't think Dirt Rally's made that time yet. He's in the 129.8s. So in terms of pace, Kerboff is quicker during the race. It's all going to play out. We'll see how they go later, but now there's 4 seconds between both X-Star Racing Team drivers in both part of the convertible collective. As we'll see, not Tiger, but Supercrush style. He's flashing his lights behind Revs, so I'm not sure why he's flashing his lights at the moment. I guess that's all unsure of and why exactly it is. But yeah, it's both extra drivers have their lights on, but whether they're flashing or not. But yeah, as I said earlier, that's now Taijo only 1 second behind. Yeah, that's 1 second behind McToasty of Taijo. So before we saw there was 2 seconds, and yeah, now it's 1 second between the two of them. So depending on how these guys may have different setups, and they could all, one setup could be better for the second and third sector, while the other setups could be quicker for the big straight and the first sector, which is basically just a big straight and a little straight. And yeah, the straight after that, but it depends how they go. You got the high downforce section of sector 3 and well 100R. So it all honestly depends on who's got the high downforce setup and who's got the setup that's best for the straight. You can see them Toasty going for that defensive line, and Taijo can still. And yeah, Toasty in the pits, okay. That's an earlier pit than I honestly thought. Is the tyre wear that bad here, or is the fuel going to get the Ligiers in a 45-minute run? Look at Taijo, he's got 41 litres of fuel. So it's honestly a hard pick to know how many laps he's actually going to get. We've got 15 laps so far, and out of yet 20, almost 20 minutes of racing. So it is a hard pick. But with these guys having obviously a lot longer pit stops with than McToasty, as they had to go for pits for damage, and well, I believe Toasty's only just gone for tyres and fuel. But like I said earlier, Kerboff is going to end up catching up to Dirt Rally while he wants to get the points reduced by how much closer Spud will gain to him. And yeah, he doesn't want that 10 point gap between Spud and himself, or the 15-point gap I was mentioning compared to the 26-point gap they have now. He wants that to be as much as possible. And yeah, well, at the moment, Kerboff is going to be taking that spot within Dirt Rally. So I'm going to check an eye on this battle at the moment. Well, like we saw earlier, these guys were battling before they both pitted. And we'd see Dirt Rally keeping a great defensive line into turn 1 and able to hold him through the inside. Until, unfortunately, into third sector, we see, Dirt Rally spinning in Dunlop corner, which is, turn 11. And it just wouldn't end well for either drivers as well. Yeah, Dirt would spin, maybe gain a lot of damage from Kerboff, who would gain a lot of damage, and hitting him, Kerboff would have to spin. And then, Dirt would know how Kerboff ended up feeling, as well, he would spin into Supercrusher later on in the race, and Dirt would end up having to pit, but it wouldn't be enough for Supercrusher as well. Yeah, he was in Dirt's position in the Kerboff incident, as Dirt goes really wide there, and this is where we're going to see Kerboff gain a lot more time heading into Dunlop corner again. Like where we saw Dirt Rally spin, his ego has taken the inside. I think he just lets Kerboff go at this time, as he knows he's not gaining any time, defending him. And he probably knows what's happened last time they went through that corner. But you can see our Spud's going to continue to getting quicker and quicker during the race and staying consistent. That is what I call Spud, a man of consistency. And yeah, with McToasty pitting, that's Revs on the podium spot now, and I believe around 4 seconds between the two teammates. And I don't reckon Dirt will be able to hold much time on Kerboff to stay any closer. Kerboff is a man on a mission, a man on a hunt to get closer to first. He may or may not get first place this race because of unfortunate incidents that he obviously can't control and would not expect to happen. But he will get as close as Spud as he can. Because anything can happen at Portimao in Portugal and, well, Road America, which is the next race. Tiger now on 37 lead. I think it's going to be close to how it was at Red Bull Ring with 25 minutes left. We had a lot of drivers on a really low amounts of fuel. Immortalis was essentially running out on the last lap, but just made it. Richie would run out, and I think we only had 1 or 2 drivers that didn't actually pit that race. It's the lowest amount of pit. There we go, that's Rev's early pit. So we're seeing most drivers actually take the pits in this race, and yeah, that's Revs taking the pit earlier than Supercrush. I honestly thought Revs would be, yeah, continuing on to go for a no pit, and strategy as he's not getting tyres, he's only going to be getting fuel. He's obviously got no damages. He's gone for a clean, consistent race, and he's given the clean air and no traffic for Supercrushers. We've got a retirement. It's not Richie, it's not Kerboff, it's not Spud, it's not Tyjo, it's Dirt Rally. So yeah, that's 2 retirements this race so far. With Biragori Tadu having to retire, and now Kerboff taking 5th place after Revs Martin pits. So you can see Kerboff has made up time, and he's with now the 5th place position. He overtakes Dirt, Dirt retires, Revs pits, and wow, I don't think Revs would have done much in the pits except, well, I don't think he's got damaged. He would have most likely only done, yeah. I mean, looking at the tyre wear, it's pretty bad on the left side, but yeah, he's now back mark behind Taito. And with Spud 6 minutes ahead, I think Spud's going to be getting this win at the moment. Just at this rate, anything can obviously happen, but I didn't expect Kerboff to be going so quick. Because now he's got the fastest lap. You can see how Marty's pushing. Okay, well, Toasty's gone quicker than even what he was before, and that's Super now taking a pit. So all drivers seem to be going for around a pit stop at the moment. So we're going to have to look at how Spud goes for the rest of the race, because we have got 3 drivers who have not pitted so far. We've got the Oricas pitted, except for Spud, because Spud obviously wants to keep that 1st place position as long as he possibly can. And Tyjo behind him, and McToasty. Yeah, McToasty's pitted, so it's 2 drivers who haven't pitted. Tyjo's going to be going as long as he can. 37 litres left, and his tyres don't look actually too bad, but with what the rest of the drivers are doing, I think Tyjo should consider pitting. He's going to be keeping around a 5 second, 6 second gap to Spud, but with how Tyjo's tyres are looking, and then with what all the other drivers are doing around track, I think what we're going to see is, yeah, I think Tyjo needs to pit soon. Unless he can keep it up, but Toasty would, okay, it really depends on how much he can save fuel. Toasty now on 32 litres, I don't think that fuel can make it to the end of the race. It's all a guessing game in terms of how much these Ligiers and can make it to the end or not. I know the Oricas and Mercs will normally have to pit, but it all just depends. Looking at these guys, Tyjo's going to have 30 litres left when we hit 15 minutes. And McToasty's going to make up even more time. I reckon, I don't know if he pitted for tyres or not, but he's got a fresh, cooled down car. His brakes will probably feel better after pitting. Giving his car a break during the race and going easy through the pit lane. Heading through 100R. I think we can see McTosie taking the top spot and, well, yeah, take that third place in the standings that he currently will have. Actually, he still has third, but he's a draw with Richie. And with Richie at the moment in 7th place, I think what we can see is McTosie gain a lot more time and keep that third place and extend his lead away from the other drivers. But yeah, with Tyjo at the moment, 30 laps, 30 leaders at 15 minutes I predicted, but it's going even quicker than I thought. He's going to have 30 leaders with 16 minutes, and with how quick it's going, that fuel, and if Tyjo's going, now looking at how degraded that left tyre is for Tyjo, I honestly don't know if he's going to make it to the end. And I think with how long this pit straight is, and how long the pits go for, and how quick his teammates with his pit crew will have to be, it's honestly really hard to tell if he'll keep the 2nd place. I think Toasty would get him at the moment, and then it's all just going to be a guessing game on if Kerboff will as well, but probably not Revs and Super. As yeah, you can see the 2 extra cars behind him as back markers, so they're going to have to do another lap, obviously, once he goes in pits, and then almost come out again. It's obviously he's not going to be in the pits for a minute 30, but it's going to be close. I think Spud's just happy saving fuel and tyres at the moment while he keeps around 4 to 6 second gap out of whoever is in 2nd place this race. As well, yeah, that's what's been happening so far. Look at how this goes, and that's it. And that's now Spud taking a pit. That's why he was losing time. And with Spud now taking a pit stop, we'll have to see how McTosie goes. I'm going to take the onboard of McTosie. I'm not sure what Tyjo's doing. He's the only one who hasn't pitted. He's got the least amount of fuel, obviously. So he's got the lightest car, but he's got the worst tyres as well. And what I was saying, the drivers, yeah, obviously, is what I was saying with the drivers will be spinning as the race goes on with their tyres. And we've seen that happen 2 times now with Dirt and Supercrusher. But the only person with the most degraded tyres I know for sure is Tyjo. And he seems to be going alright at the moment. He's got the race pace. He's in the 28s. He's been in the 28s. He's got a 29 last lap compared to everyone else. Only 2 other people did that, was Kerboff and Supercrusher. So maybe he's doing alright now, but there we go. Supercrusher, no, Spudmad's just got out. Toastie's heading down. Can Toastie go down on the outside? And yes, Toastie's going to get him here on the outside. So we're going to have to see Spud is now 1 position above Kerboff. They were a whole opposite grid apart earlier in the race, with Kerboff in 9th and Spud in 1st. And with Spud now in 3rd and Kerboff now in 4th, this is the closest they've been all race, and something you wouldn't exactly expect. So with Toastie, how good he manages his car and, well, done his pit strategy, I think Rick Toastie's done quite well in the race so far. And with Spud in 3rd, I think we're waiting for a great race at the moment. So we're going to have to see how they go for the rest of the race. But Victosi's just a second above Spud Mad, or 2. And obviously McTosie's going to have warmer brakes. He's got the momentum. Spud's going to make that time up. And against someone who's just got a little bit more pace around this circuit than what he does. So praying that Spud could actually make some time up if he's got the Kerboff on the hunt. Kerboff heading into the last sector and Spudman just heading out of it. This is what I will be watching for the next 13 minutes. How much closer Kerboff can get. And then if, Victosi's actually going to escape Spud or not. It's all just, I really want to see how Spud goes. I mean, they're getting closer to Tyjo as well now, as Tyjo was 44 seconds ahead of McTosie, as it's now 33 seconds. So that's, it's 11 seconds made, while Tyjo is slower with his degraded tyres, and well, car has been running on for almost 40 minutes now, or 35 minutes to be exact. But it's also Supercrusher who's getting closer to his teammate in the extra convertibles, the kind of convertible collective they like to call each other, including Spud Mad. Part of another team, but still representing all the Oricanisms in the manufacturers. So will Super be trying to take Revs Martin in the next few laps? And what will be the team strategies playing here? Yeah, what will be happening in terms of team strategy? Because I don't think team strategy plays here now. They're in the last 10 minutes. I think they're fighting position. Yeah, I think they're fighting position. It is the last 10 minutes. We've gone for 23 laps. And I do want to see how long Tiger can hold this. It's staying at 33 minutes in the moment with 22 litres of fuel. If he's going for that no-stop, which is definitely possible by the rate of how Tiger's going, because at the moment Spud's going to be taking him in the pits as well, and then, yep, maybe curve off, but I don't know. If Tiger tries, I think he can do it. He's just going to manage his fuel, because 22 litres for 10 minutes, I think it's possible. But around 15 minutes ago, we saw Tiger on 40 litres of fuel. So I guess it really all depends on Supercrush is getting a lot closer to Revs Martin now. We'll have to see how Super goes when he drives Revs down the straight and who gets the best line through that corner. It's honestly hard to tell. They are almost identical heading through there. So how can Super goes? Yeah, Revs is... They're definitely fighting position. As you can see, Revs going through the middle of the track at the moment. Oh, those cars definitely sound nice as they're heading up towards Tiger, who is a lap in front of them at the moment, while keeping his car as much ahead of everyone else as he possibly can. On 20 litres of fuel, a really degraded front left tyre. Now 32 seconds ahead of Toasty. I'm going to keep looking at that leaderboard and see how those times are while he tries to stay ahead, and well, less than 10 minutes left now. He will be going for that no-stop. And Revs will be defending his teammate. And I think Super will be wanting to be higher, obviously, as well. Super's trying to get to a closer to Tiger as he can, while in the standings, Revs Martin is, well, battling JMG and HHV, which neither are in this race. So, with all this happening, I'd say Revs is safe in terms of points. He's going to be getting to 9th place no matter what this race, and Supercrush wants to defend, wants to get as close to Tiger as he can as well. Tiger's 1 point ahead of Supercrush in the standings at the moment, according to what's happened last race. So, at the moment, that 8th place, that's no longer going to be Tiger's. No, that's no longer going to be, Tiger's. Tiger's going to be taking that 7th place, and Super will have the 8th place after this, and Tiger will go into 7th. While Super's 1 point ahead right now, who knows what will be the standings afterwards, and how much further behind he'll be. As Richie, still going in for those points, which is good to see. You don't want to see someone retire and for, well, obviously no reason is, if you don't finish this race, you're not going to gain any points. And, well, with Immortalis gone, Richie will only gain more time ahead and, well, stay a little closer to McToasty as well. I think with Blankfile and Immortalis out of the race at the moment, we've got Supercrusher and Tiger going to be getting closer to both of them, and that'll make the standings even closer for Road America and Portimao. So Revs Martin still able to keep that position out of Supercrusher. He's now more than a second ahead of Super, or not anymore. It's all going to be bumping in and out as well. With 7 minutes left, I think Revs is able to conserve his car and continue to help his tyres and fuel for the rest of the race. And with how well he's going in terms of how he does that this season and how long I've seen him do that in the past, I think he's going to be going well enough with how he does his fuel and how he does his tyres, because he's gaining on Super. He's now 2 seconds ahead. So I'm not sure what Super's going to be struggling on, and if either driver changed their tyres or not in the pits. I guess we're all going to be waiting to see what truly plays out in the next 7 minutes of the race. But checking on Tiger now, he's got 16 litres of fuel, and he had 20 litres about, 5 minutes ago. this. Yeah, it's honestly so hard to say. That fuel is burning so quickly. With, yeah, 6 minutes left. Tiger can take that first place, and he can do it. That'll be his first win for the season, and something none of us are expecting as well. I predicted wrong, and the drivers aren't catching up quick enough. And if Tiger takes the car steady and drives it very easily, doesn't try to go too aggressive in the corners, he won't spin, he won't oversteer, and he can take the first place. I'm backing for Tiger here. He can do that. His left tyres are horribly degraded, but if he drives the car steady and he treats it carefully, we will see, yeah, only one pit stop in the race and have it be Tiger, because compared to the other drivers who wanted to pit, it doesn't end up working out for them, such as Big Toasty. Obviously that was a scheduled pit as well as Revs Martin. But we see that, and we see it play out against Tiger. They're obviously gaining time on Tiger, but it's not going to be enough. And what I'm seeing here is Super actually catching up in that first and second sector, and then Revs actually gaining him in the last half of the lap. So I can't imagine their car being too different from setup, because they normally share similar setups, but it all can oftenly and obviously depend on driving styles as well. And maybe Revs is, yeah, just simply better in that back section of the track where it's, well, a little slower and tighter in corners, an area that requires a lot more downforce as well, and, well, yeah, stability in terms of how the car can handle. Now waiting for the drivers to get 29 seconds now to Tiger, and yeah, he's doing well. I'm really rooting for him here. He can do this. He's just got to try to take the car nice and steady. Almost 4.5 minutes left, with 29 seconds to be made in the final lap, final few, and whoa! That must have been, yeah, Revs scoring. So not sure what's happened between the two drivers, but that's the corner I've seen and expected. Oversteer and spins that, and yeah, look what's happened. That's a spin at Revs or contact with Super. I'm hoping it's a spin and no contact was made between the two drivers who were battling, especially because they're teammates and a father and son combo deal. Hoping Revs is okay. Obviously I don't think any damage is done, but the tyres obviously won't like what's happened to his car. So that's no longer a battle between those guys, so all the drivers are spread out at the moment. We've all just got to see who can keep the car the best they can. That's going to be a back marker of Richie just letting by McToasty on the front straight, and Richie will try and stay as close to Toasty as he can to keep that time up, just in case anything happens later in the race. Obviously Revs can spin again, anything can happen. That's why you do not give up in the race, guys, because anything can happen further on during the race. That's always my thoughts during something, because you never know what can happen further on. But obviously sometimes the thoughts and emotions are hard to control. As me myself, I've retired due to just anger sometimes, especially during some of the rally championships. So it gets really tough racing it on you emotionally and mentally. But 3 minutes left, and Tiger's still able to keep that first place spot, and he'll gain a lot more time in the standings, getting closer to blank file and the other drivers heading into Road America while we head over the Pacific Ocean. In second place we have McToasty. I don't think McToasty's even gaining too much time on Tiger. I don't think he will, and I don't think he's planning to. That gap seems to just go from 31 to 29, or 30 to 29 quite often, and I think Tiger's happy with that, and Toasty just must be feeling content. He's done a great race at the moment, and nope. And looking at the laps times, we've all seen a lot more drivers get into the 28s now, but who's got the fastest lap? It's still McToasty. So we've got a few extra points being made tonight, with Tiger getting pole. Tiger getting 36 points tonight so far, with pole and the first place finish. And then McToasty keeping that fastest lap at the moment, that he's had that 28.1 for a while now in the race. So with 2 minutes left to go. There's now 27 seconds been made, so yeah, okay, McTosie is making up time, and we see Taijo now with 7 litres left to go, so he's done quite well in the fuel saving. He's going to have to go through another 2 laps, so we're really going to see how Taijo goes, depends on the fuel. I'm really going to see how much fuel he's going to have by the end of the race, because if so, I don't reckon the other drivers would believe they would make it on fuel, but looking at Taijo's telemetry, those 7 litres, we'll see how they last him another 2 laps. Or even 1 lap. He crosses the line at 1:23 seconds. I reckon we're only going to get 1 more lap. If Taijo slows down at the end, he would save fuel and finish his race, and that would be exactly what he needs. And with the fact that he finished, went across the finish line with, yeah, 1 minute and 24 seconds left, and that's what Taijo can do. He can slow down towards the end and let the timer go by. Once that time is done, all Taijo has to do and cross the line. And if he has 3 litres left, that's going to be perfect for him. With 6 litres left now, he won't have much left to go across that finish line, and all he has to do is just take it slow and steady heading to the line, and he has got first place, and that'll be his first place finish of the season so far. Because wow, this is good for Taijo, because so far this will not only be Taijo's best finish, but it will also be his first podium of the season, as he's been consistently finishing around 7th, 6th, 5th and 8th. This is the best he's done all season so far. And then looking at Taijo, he's got 2 fastest laps. So he's been going alright on pace this season, but McTosie, he's someone that's able to have been quick. This will be Toastie's 2nd fastest, 3rd fastest lap in a row. And that's a timer gone. A celebration for Taijo. Lights are flashing, weaving across the flag off the track. And Taijo is absolutely really happy right now. I can tell he's screaming inside, because he would be celebrating taking a win he would not expect to see tonight. A win he's achieved, a win he's done well at, saved his fuel and saved his tyres. Well done to Taijo, brilliant race, probably finishing his race with around 3 litres of fuel, and the McTosie taking 2nd after a brilliant race, taking that scheduled pit stop, saving the tyres, saving the fuel, what he normally does best and being consistent. Now Spud taking that 3rd place spot after having to pit during the race and unable to hold on to McTosie with his car. So he does close the gap between himself and Kerboff, but it won't be enough for so much time he'd hoped to have taken off between the gap. That was a lot closer earlier on. Now we're heading off to Kerboff, about to cross the finish line in 4th place. Still keeps that 1st, still keeps the gap off Spud. It's just not going to be as close as it was before this race. Then Supercrusher ends up taking revs, due to revs unfortunately and sadly spinning in the final sector, actually, in the final corner even, before, Panasonic corner. And then Richie taking 7th, still going to be gaining some points though, because of the absencees tonight. Richie will be gaining some time tonight, so brilliant job to Richie. And those penalties that the drivers received, it didn't affect them too much anyway, which is what the drivers would be perfectly wanting. The penalties don't affect them, and they're all happy. The only penalties the drivers can receive now are any that could have been done in stewards inquiries, so drivers do not forget to submit any stewards inquiries if you're involved in any incidents and you don't think it was fair on you. That way we can keep Flux Motorsport clean. And if you are interested in joining Flux Motorsport, make sure to head to fluxmotorsport.com, and then you will see the join link where we can see you on the track after you get your evaluation. But I'm Mark, and it's been a pleasure to host your LMP2 Championship of the PC2 series, and I'll see you next week at Road America.